Top roll. The top roll is built around leverage mastery and intelligent positioning. While it can be executed differently depending on the puller, a few core principles dominate this approach: hand control, finger pressure, and the ability to stretch your opponent into weakness. At the heart of this style is the capacity to open your opponent's hand and roll their knuckles back, creating a position where their strength becomes irrelevant no matter how much power they possess. Pullers like Devon Larratt and John Brzenk perfected it, using minimal force to generate maximum advantage and dismantling opponents who outweighed them by 50 pounds through pure positioning. This technical style isn't just cleverness, it's the result of necessity in a sport dominated by size and raw power, where smaller pullers had to find an edge or get crushed. Top rollers emphasize rising angles, wrist manipulation, and the ability to fight effectively from extended positions, the capacity to dominate even when stretched to their limit. While explosive power is respected, it's timing and hand placement that win matches in this approach. The setup is everything, and attacks are launched with surgical precision. This style developed not just through tradition, but survival. Lighter pullers couldn't match heavyweights in raw strength, leading to a blend of technical brilliance and strategic warfare. The result? A style that rewards patience, intelligence, and clean execution. Top rolling isn't about being strong, it's about making your opponent weak. Hook. The hook style is a masterclass in compression, power, and defensive fortitude. Born from the need to shut down leverage games and hand tricks, it treats arm wrestling as a pure test of structural strength and conditioning. At its core is the cupping motion, a tight defensive curl that pulls the opponent's hand toward your body, turning the match into a grinding battle of bicep, back, and side pressure. Hook pullers typically start high and rely on immense static strength to absorb attacks while building an impenetrable structure. From there, they advance with relentless pressure, using their entire posterior chain to slowly crush their opponent's position. Rather than racing for quick pins, hook specialists create a fortress, a space they defend while advancing inch by inch, using conditioning and mental toughness to break their opponent's will. Offense is methodical and suffocating, while risk is minimized through airtight positioning and overwhelming power. This style wasn't born in flash gyms. It was forged in brutal strength sessions and tendon conditioning camps. Coaches emphasized building armor-like connective tissue, developing immovable defense, and cultivating the psychological resilience to endure punishment. The goal: absorb everything, dominate through compression, and win with strength supremacy, not gimmicks. While some critics call it one-dimensional or boring, at its best, the hook is inevitable, slow, powerful, and impossible to escape. The hook doesn't need to be exciting, it just needs to be stronger than you, and it always is. Press. The press is defined by speed, aggression, and explosive commitment. Pullers who favor this style blend lightning-fast reactions with overwhelming downward force, producing an approach that's violent but precise. Unlike the patient grinding seen with hooks or the setup games of top rollers, press specialists attack immediately, using shoulder drive, hip rotation, and body weight to collapse their opponent's structure before it's even established. They frequently employ instant drops and total commitment, creating attacks that end matches in the first 3 seconds. The result is a style that shocks opponents with speed and power before they can think. Culturally, this approach reflects values like courage, directness, and killer instinct. Influenced by a strike-first mentality, pullers are taught to commit everything to the opening and trust their explosiveness over their endurance. This translates into athletes with fast twitch dominance, fearless aggression, and an almost reckless willingness to gamble the entire match on one move. Many press specialists come from explosive sports backgrounds, where quick power matters more than sustained grinding. Their training allows them to generate devastating force in the opening moments, often looking most dangerous before their opponent settles in. While not as technical as the top roll or as patient as the hook, the press thrives on aggression built from explosive power and perfect timing. It's a style forged in speed training, shaped by confidence, and powered by an unshakable belief that the best defense is an instant offense. The press doesn't believe in feeling you out, it believes in ending you before you're ready. Strap game. Arm wrestling is built on suffering, endurance, and unbreakable will. It's the style that emerges when nothing else works, when officials strap two equally matched pullers together and remove every advantage except conditioning and mental toughness. What remains is warfare. This is arm wrestling at its most brutal. Two athletes locked with no escape, grinding for minutes while their bodies break down and their minds scream to quit. The crowd goes silent. The flash disappears. What's left is who trained harder and who refuses to break. Matches become tests of static endurance, pain tolerance, and psychological resilience that go far beyond normal athletic competition. Pullers absorb crushing pressure, hold defensive angles indefinitely, and wait for microscopic openings while fighting through agony. Positioning becomes about survival, with athletes protecting their structure while slowly grinding for any edge they can create. This survive and advance mentality isn't strategy, it's necessity. Why does this style exist? Because some matches can't be decided by technique or speed. When two high-level pullers neutralize each other's attacks, the strap forces a conclusion by removing everything except who prepared their body for hell. Pullers who excel here train specifically for prolonged torture, building tendon strength, static holds, and mental conditioning that borders on masochistic. They're shaped through brutal endurance sessions designed to prepare them for matches that feel endless. And in the strap, entertainment takes a backseat to respect. Fans understand they're witnessing something primal, a test of pure heart. The strap game is a byproduct of deadlock and determination. It's not pretty, but it's powerful, exhausting, and it separates those who trained from those who hoped. Strap specialists don't win with flash. They win by lasting longer than you thought possible and refusing to quit when every fiber of their body is begging them to stop. King's Move. The King's Move is a symphony of angles, timing, and absolute commitment. Rooted in old-school arm wrestling creativity and refined by risk-takers, this technique emphasizes dramatic rotation and attacking from impossible angles rather than straight-ahead force. It's instantly recognizable. Pullers rotate their torso violently to the side, dropping their shoulder well below table level while driving their opponent's hand down at an angle that collapses structure instantly. When executed perfectly, it looks like the opponent's arm just disintegrates. The goal is to create a position so extreme that defense becomes impossible before your opponent understands what's happening. King's Move specialists thrive on surprise and fearlessness, using explosive body rotation and split-second timing to end matches in a flash. This style was born from necessity and experimentation. Smaller, lighter pullers discovered that attacking from extreme side angles could neutralize massive strength advantages completely. When done right, it removes size, removes power, and makes the match about who committed harder to the angle. What makes it unique is the total body commitment required. There's no halfway. You either fully rotate and drop your shoulder into oblivion, or you fail and get punished. Combine that with perfect timing, zero hesitation, and a willingness to risk everything, and the result is a technique built for spectacular finishes. While modern training has made it less common at the highest levels, the King's Move represents something important. Sometimes creativity and courage beat everything else. The King's Move doesn't try to outpower you or out-technique you. It just attacks from an angle you never prepared for and ends the match before you realize what happened. Flop press. The flop press is defined by chaos, innovation, and fearless improvisation. This style is rooted in breaking every conventional rule and attacking with movements that look absolutely wild to traditional pullers. It's not polished by design, it's developed through experimentation by athletes who couldn't or wouldn't conform to textbook techniques. The positioning is extreme, with heads disappearing below table level, creating leverage that orthodox training simply doesn't prepare opponents for. Behind the apparent madness is genuine innovation and body control. Many flop press specialists came from outside traditional training systems, developing their style through trial and error rather than formal coaching. They often emerged from areas where conventional techniques weren't taught, or from body types that didn't suit standard approaches, so they created something entirely new. The flop press exists because arm wrestling, despite its traditions, still rewards innovation. It proves that textbook form isn't the only path to victory. That commitment and creativity can overcome perfect technique. And the psychological element is massive. Opponents train for hooks, top rolls, and presses. They don't train for someone to flop sideways like a fish while somehow generating devastating power. The shock factor alone creates openings. The flop press is raw, chaotic, and constantly evolving. It's not about being pretty or technically sound. It's about doing something your opponent never prepared for and ending the match before they adapt. Flop pressers don't respect tradition. They respect results, and if flopping like a madman gets the pin, then that's what they'll do. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe for clear arm wrestling breakdowns, technique, strategy, and results.